a non-Asian person coming to an event like this, their jaws hit their ground. They cannot believe, first and foremost, it's an open bar. Second of all, alcohol that's constantly being replenished on every table, and food that's endless. So I think we are definitely leading the way in, you know, what is lavish.
So, I mean, anyone watching this show, right, our aim, obviously we don't want a mindless chat show where, you know, we just go on and talk and debate and then nobody actually benefits from this. So, you know, if we are sending out a statement, especially to young couples who are getting married.
And their families.
And their families. I can vouch for most seasoned professional service providers is they would never oversell. If they know a couple and it's beyond their means, a seasoned professional will not oversell anything because they know, number one, they ain't going to get paid.
Right. Right.
But the thing is, at the end of the day, you don't want to have that bitterness in the back of a young couple. You don't want to be a service provider leaving a young couple with that bitter after, now I've been ripped off, or, you know, I've been sold something that was, you know, maybe some other, you know, if you might, I'm going to be cool by car salesmen, and I have a few friends, but, you know, they might do you over, but I don't think people in this industry, because this is a love industry, at the end of the day, we're dealing with people who are, you know, they've fallen in love, they're getting married, and it's a good vibe thing, you know, we want to keep that going as well, and always uphold that momentum. At the end of the day, I'd say most service providers are trustworthy and, you know, take advice. Young couples need to look at their budget, look at their parents' budget, be realistic. You know, if you're not the Joneses, don't keep up with them.
And should we just stop trying to compare ourselves to every single person?
Do what's true.
You know, I mean, just because you've gone to a wedding where they did have a couple flying into a helicopter and you can't afford that doesn't mean that that is now the standard that we have to try to maintain.
I think the other thing as well, parents and their children should communicate a little bit more, because sometimes what we find is that couples will speak and create dialogue with the company first, and then at a later stage or at a different point, the parents will then speak to the same company as well, and then there's two different
mixed views.
Mixed views of what they want. So if combined, they speak together, and then we can get an idea of a collaboration of exactly what they would like, and then from that, hopefully, we can try and please everyone, because at the end of the day, we're not the bad people. We're here just to try and make sure that the day goes as fantastically as well as possible, provided with the very best in Asian cuisine, and obviously, you know, make sure that people look at that event and think that was fantastic. So
that's exactly what you want. You want people to go away and feel, your guests to go away and feel you've had a good time. If you compromise on your quality, then you're going to get a bad service, and in turn your guests will say, oh, how was the food, the decor wasn't nice, the presentation wasn't very good. You have to pay that money to get the quality. That's
but is it for the, I mean, when you got married, was it for you? Did you get really, you know, sit back and get a chance to, wow, like I'm really enjoying this day? Or
I did, yes.
You did?
I did.
She's under pressure now.
That is the right answer.
They actually, Mahir's actually did my catering, I won't lie. Yeah, I had faith in them, and I had faith in the decor. Obviously, our company did the decor, but I absorbed the day. I knew that I wanted to take my day in. I've seen brides, like you say, who don't take the day in, and I even discussed this with my husband and said, look, we need to take the day and we need to speak to all our guests. I mean, we had quite a few hundred guests at our wedding, and it's not right. You have to take in that all these people have come to your wedding. It's not the fact it's a lavish wedding. It's the responsibility of the family, the couple, to absorb what's their surrounding.
Before I hear from Pavik, let me just ask you this question. If you had to do it all over again, would you have done it the same way?
I'll be honest, I let my parents take control. They did everything. I was open with my parents. I respected, I'll be honest, I didn't pay for my wedding.
Right.
My parents did. I respected what they said because it's within my dad's means, because it's within my mum's means. I understood that.
So if you had to do it again, you'd have it the same way?
Exactly the same.
Okay.
Everything was perfect that day.
Pavik.
Okay, I just want to come in with 2 points, actually. One, the whole thing about the services that industry provides. Now the industry has changed a lot. There's a lot more choice. Like if you come into our shop, for example, you can buy a suit, you can have one tailor-made, you can hire one. So you can go to any sort of cost level that you want to go on.
What's your starting point?
£40 for a hire suit.
Wow, okay.
So, pretty good then.
So just giving you, from that point of view, that there's a lot of services, and everybody can be having a lavish affair and not paying the kind of money that they were paying probably a few years ago. But at the same time, I think this whole point about people not absorbing the day, I think, going back to when I remember my wedding, yes, I can openly admit that what was happening outside was a bit of a blur. But I have to say, as a couple, we were absorbing our day, because it was about us. We were sitting in the actual, in the mandap, and we were sort of having our wedding day, and it was about us too. And yes, you have to take in what is happening around you, around your surroundings, what's going on. And I think the important thing from a family's point of view is a family wants to make sure that the people who are coming to this wedding are well looked after, they're well fed, they're well watered. And I think that has got a lot to do with it as well. I know we can talk about lavishness, and yes, you can be going into a grey area where is it lavish, or is it just that you are doing something that makes you feel that you've done right by your guests, by the couple, and I think these are the things that we're missing so far in the discussion. And I think that it's all about the couple and what they want and how they feel about what they want. Because you'll find that although the couples will be in there, they'll be sort of saying, oh, we want this, and yes, there is pressure on the family, but I think a lot of Asian families, they invite that pressure, they want that pressure, they want to be given an opportunity.
They want to be given the opportunity to just show how lavish and extravagant they can actually be. They want the opportunity to show that actually we can throw a bigger party than you did. And I think that's the bottom line, and we're going to hear more from our guests after this short break. Hi, welcome back to Broken Silence. I'm Sanyya Gardez. Asian weddings, are they really for the bride and groom, or are they just for everybody else? Joining me on the panel is Pritpal Singh from Pro Creative Videography and Photography in Birmingham, and Bhavik Bhobat from Suit Yourself in Leicester. Thank you guys for joining us. Are they for everybody else, or are they really for the bride and groom, the wedding day?
I think it's a combination of both, to be honest. I think the bride and groom sort of mostly dictate what happens. I feel that that's the way it is now. And I think it's for the family as well, because I think they do, to a degree, yes, they do want to impress upon the people that come to the wedding. But then I don't think there's anything wrong with that if it's going from the heart and it's something they want to do. If they can afford it and they've got the finances.
That's not coming from the heart, is it?
Well, if they've got the finances and they want to do it, then really, who are we to say, you can't do it, or you shouldn't do it, or you should you should not spend the money that you've earned.
We are broken silence. My point, just Pritpal, you can answer this, is that okay, it's fine if it's within your means.
Yes.
You've got the money, you want to spend it, great. However, the reality is the people that are spending this money on these weddings, not everybody can really afford it. They're just trying to keep up. It's really competitive. Weddings become this huge industry, and now it's just a big production. And like Hemang Bhai said, we're kind of missing the spiritual aspect of it, and it's all about, well, what does she have at her wedding? What did he have at his wedding? Well, I want to do it bigger and better. Is that your experience, or not really?
Exactly the same, yes. Like I said, I like all this here. We try to negotiate and guide the couple through what they can afford, what they can't afford. But it's probably peer pressure. I mean, some parents see other people's weddings, and they've gone to other people's weddings, and relatives are, they're trying to invite them, and they want to put a show on as well. At the same time, some couples want to do something as well, and they realize they realize that they've come to somebody else's wedding. They're trying to compete against each other. So you get that all the time. We say, look, the day is about yourselves, nobody else. It's your special day. Everything should work around you, not anybody else. Don't try to impress anybody. You'd rather save the money and enjoy yourself.
Is it in our blood, though? Are we as Asians programmed to just have that, let's, do one up on the other person? Is it just so deeply embedded in our psyche?
Yes. I've seen that so many times. You're trying to a lot of competition happening.
Can I also comment with some information which I saw very much relevant to our topic just now? A bride whose wedding I was going to do said that, Maharaj, we are having a ring, and her mum was saying that, could you please, priest, tell them it's very costly, tell her not to buy such a costly ring. And I said, come on, it mustn't be too much money.